Hello, everyone. Dr. Craig Nathanson, welcome. In this short talk, I wanted to go over our Advanced Human Resource Certificate program here at Sonoma State. This is a program that I developed a few years ago, and I've been teaching myself since. So let's cover some of the basics of the program. So this is an 8-week asynchronous course, which means that you can come into the course during the week, at the time and place where it suits you best. So it's a really flexible program. It's a chance to, collaborate. I always think that the value of education and learning is the opportunity to network with other like-minded professionals in class and with myself. And as you get new ideas, it only takes a few new ideas to send your career in a new path and a better direction. And in this course, you'll have an opportunity to both collaborate in the asynchronous discussions as well as to learn and research and really discuss the key emerging areas of HR. I designed this course, which I'll cover in a second, to really focus on what I believe to be the emerging areas in HR. So if you're new to HR, if you want to get into HR, or if you're an experienced HR professional, this gives you a chance to go deep into specific topics, and we discuss them together. And of course, I think the value of an asynchronous program, I've been teaching asynchronous programs for about 20 years, since the very start, is that, it's 100% online. So you can come into the course during the week when it works, best for you. So what's the advantage of a certificate from Sonoma State in Advanced Human Resource Management? Well, you have a certificate that you could put on your resume, on your work portfolio, which I know will be a positive anchor for you to use in the future when you need it most. I think the program offers a chance for career development, a chance for you to advance your skills in HR, and a chance for you to further get ideas which will help you in the field. And even if you're not in HR and you're, a professional, maybe you're a leader, maybe you're a project manager, all the ideas in this course will allow you to work even better with people. I teach for the big bang, so I know that there are a few ideas in the program that will make a difference in your life. Everything that we discuss, everything I teach is practical, and you can apply it right away outside of class. So the requirements for this program are generally, I look for you to have around 5 years of HR and/or management experience, because this gives you a foundation, a baseline. However, I have allowed several students to enter our program with a few years less of experience, and so feel free to ask me if you're not sure if you qualify or not. But if you have at least 5 years of working experience in HR or in management, it does give you a good foundation for this course. So the expectation is that you'll spend about 5 hours a week in the course over 8 weeks. Maybe you come into the course 3 times a week when it fits your schedule best, and you spend a couple hours. And I'll talk about that in a moment. You get 4 units credit, for continuing education units credit for this program. So each week we will discuss what I feel is a critical area of HR, and we'll go into it in depth. So in the first week, for example, we're going to look at the changing nature of work and the future of work. We've now entered an era of the work portfolio life, where it's expected that within a few short years in this country, about 50% of working adults will have multiple streams of income. And that affects the relationship between where people work, when they work, how they work, and how the organization treats its people, who might be full-time, who might be part-time, who might be gig workers of a sort. And so we spend a lot of time talking about how to prepare for the future of work. We'll also talk about the future, the new workforce, and we'll talk about the future of HR. So where does HR go? The field of HR is rapidly changing to adapt to, especially to post-pandemic ways of working. And we'll talk, and with the advent of AI and other technologies, we'll talk about the future of HR. We'll talk about leadership in HR. In another program I teach called Humanistic Leadership, I developed the Humanistic Leadership model back in 2015 as a way forward to think about how to even better lead people. I really feel strongly that if you lead people well, the HR metrics will take care of themselves. And so we'll spend a week talking about how HR can influence the leadership philosophy in an organization, and how HR leaders themselves can influence their own ways of leading themselves and others, even better. We'll spend a week on employer branding and marketing. I really feel strongly that, the new HR really needs to be a marketing organization, convincing, especially the younger generation, why they should work in your particular organization. How will they find meaning in their work? What is value added about the organization? What's special about working there? And so we have entered a new era. And so we will talk about the importance of employer branding. Talk about technology. Technology, of course, is moving so fast. We're already seeing how, as an example, AI applications have taken over many of the functions in HR. Even those functions that have previously been outsourced are now being taken over by AI, and other related forms of technology. So we'll spend a week looking at the latest technology that affects HR. We'll spend a week on, when I teach about the topic of diversity, I teach two words, inclusion and appreciation. That is, how can we start to include and appreciate people, who are different than us? And we'll spend a week talking about how to implement that philosophy individually and in the organization. We'll talk about motivation. I think that motivation is the least understood area of psychology. Many organizations put a lot of emphasis and money into reward and punishment, and then they're disappointed later when the results aren't very good. So we'll talk about how organizations, especially HR, strategies can teach internal motivation, can enable, I like the word enable, a motivated workforce. For about 24 years, I've been writing and teaching on the topic of joyful work. I really believe strongly along with humanistic leadership, I have a sense of urgency about this. This is where I focus my life's work now, which is helping people understand how to find joyful work. When people enjoy their work, all the business indicators go up. So the question is, what is joyful work, and how can you obtain your own joyful work, and how can you help others enjoy their work? And we'll spend time on that. I think that's probably the most important part of HR in my view. And finally, we'll spend a week on data analytics. I think data analytics is an area that everyone should learn. In the olden days, especially in HR, we would just look at, what happened, and then we would look at how it happened. Well, now it's important to look at not only what happened or how it happened, but if this continues, how might you predict what will happen in the future? And that's really where the field of data analytics, is going, is being able to predict the future based on, today's data. So we'll spend, a week on how to do that. So you kind of get a sense of what's in our program. How does our course work? You don't need a book. All resources are built into the course. Each week I record a video lecture for you to look at. There are PowerPoint slides, articles, and YouTube videos to view. And then I will lead a weekly discussion. I'm in the class 6 days a week. I usually take Saturday off to recharge. And I think you find the weekly discussion very good. You come in, you give your ideas. Think about our weekly discussion as a lab. You come in with questions and issues maybe from work, and we help you solve them in our weekly discussion based on whatever topic that we're talking about. I encourage students to participate on at least 3 days of the week. That helps them to keep with the flow of the class. You can log into class when it works best. And personally, I think it's best to come into class 3 times a week, spend an hour or 2 hours looking at the articles, the lectures, the slides, the videos, and then of course participating in the weekly discussion. Attendance credit. So to actually get your certificate, it is based on a weekly short reflection paper that you'll write, about 300 words, where basically, no outside resources are needed. You'll reflect on your key learning from the week and talk about how you might apply it outside of class. I mean, what's the point of learning if you can't apply it? And so the weekly paper will give you a chance to do that. On Monday, I will always give you personal feedback on your paper, so it gives us a chance to kind of work together. You can miss one weekly assignment, otherwise you'll have to retake the program. So it's important that you do that. And of course, I do monitor the participation during the week. For example, if you turn in a paper every single week, but you never participate rarely participate during the week, you will not pass the program. So it's both participation during the week as well as this weekly paper. Who should take the course? HR professionals, as I've said, managers, line managers, small business owners. I think this is a good course for nonprofit administrators, and again, small business owners that maybe do not have an HR function because they're a small organization. This could quickly help you stay in touch with the emerging issues of our time as they relate to people and work and HR. If you have any questions about this program, please feel free to contact me at my Sonoma State email address listed here. You can call my phone. I encourage my students to stay in touch with me at LinkedIn. I post throughout the week ideas that are relevant to this area. And of course, you can check out my research at drcraignathanson.com. The Advanced HR Certificate Program is offered in the fall and in the spring terms. The cost is $750, and it earns you 4 continuing education units. So that's it for now. Feel free to check us out at our website, which is the link is listed here. And again, I really hope I see you at a future class. I should say program. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm always happy to talk to my students, and I really hope I have a chance to work with you, in this program. All right. So whether it's evening or night, evening or day, whenever you're looking at this, have a great evening or day. That's redundant. And I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.